Welcome back to the Vera House podcast. Thanks again for tuning in. We get into some really good stuff today. And first, I want to start off by saying thank you to everybody who has been tuning in and watching us. If you're not subscribed on YouTube, definitely subscribe. If you're not following us on Spotify or Apple Music, add us to your liked playlist, add us to your folders, send a carrier pigeon. Just make sure that you get notifications whenever we post something new, because we're going to be continuing to grow and build the Vera House podcast, and we don't want you to miss anything. So one of the first things we get into is something that just kind of dawned on me as I was out on a walk, that we could do a better job of talking to each other on the streets. And I know you know what I'm talking about. You probably walk by somebody every day and you thought about saying hi, but you didn't. Go ahead and say hi. It's not going to kill you. Might be a little weird, maybe a little awkward, but you'll get used to it and they'll say hi back. And you would have just talked to a stranger. It'll make your entire day better. One of the other things we talked about today is that it's official. We are out of 804 area code numbers. There are no more numbers to be given out. So if you get a new phone number, you'll get 686 as the area code. It kind of blows my mind. And I kind of hate it a little bit.
Yeah, you can't sit with us if you have that.
You can't sit at our table if you have 686 area code. It's like having an Android. Sorry, you just can't. No offense, Android users. The last thing we talked about is that it has been discovered in Manchester that there is an unmarked grave with 700 unmarked graves in it, potentially stacked one on top of the other. And it was discovered using ground penetrating radar. It's very likely that they were from the Confederate Army during the war. And currently there's just a city facility building sitting on top of it. And it's just kind of weird that no one thought to look there until now.
Yeah.
But yeah, we get into a bunch of other stuff too. What else we get into?
So we talk about Petersburg and how apparently the council members there didn't know that the state of Virginia was being taken over by data centers. So we kind of bully them a little bit, but we welcome them to the club, and now they know about data centers. They, prior to this, they didn't know. We also talk about the history of the Dairy Bar, which, if people aren't familiar, it closed in 2022, and it was a staple of Richmond for a very long time. And we talk about how its history is connected to the Curl's Neck Plantation. And that was where there was a dairy farm there. And the history is just interesting. And there's a bunch of interesting stuff connected to it. So stay tuned for that. And then we also talk about some new safe biking routes. So if you're somebody who's been itching to hop on your bike before summer is over, even though fall is one of the best times to ride your bike, but if you want to get on your bike and be able to feel safer riding the streets, we also talk about a great resource for you to be able to use for that. And like Perri said, be sure to subscribe on YouTube. And one last favor would be, if you're enjoying the show, leave us a review on whatever podcast platform you use, because as you'll see in just a moment where we talk about local restaurant reviews, people only leave reviews when they're unhappy.
Right.
And that's also true for the podcast world. So if you like the show, if you like the show, not if you dislike the show. If you dislike the show, please don't leave us a review, because it doesn't help us. If you leave us a good review, it does help us. So Stay tuned. Enjoy the show.
So you were telling me before we started that you ate a bunch of pizza this weekend.
Yeah, this weekend consisted of 2 gigantic pizzas from Zorch. Like, have you ever, obviously we've had a slice there, but have you ever ordered a pizza from there?
No, I know better, because the slices are the size of my chest.
It's insane.
I can only do two slices at a time.
Yeah.
And I not even respectfully, responsibly should I eat 2, but I have. And I've regretted it.
Yeah, the times that I've ordered 2 slices, it's it's hard to put down both.
Yeah. It's funny though. I came across this on Reddit, and this is partly why I love Zorch Pizza even more. There were some negative reviews on Google.
Yeah.
And the owner responded to all of them.
Nice.
And someone found them and put them on Reddit just to showcase how awesome they are. And this one is a little incomplete, but the review it's a 1-star review from Christopher. It's really don't understand all the positive reviews. Our first time was the grand opening. The pizza was so soggy and covered with grease. It was disgusting. Decided to give it another shot this evening. walked in and the person said, sit, blah, blah, blah. And it, like, you hit the more button to find out the rest of it. But the owner's response, you're literally just making stuff up. This is insane. None of this is true. The next review is a 1 star. Didn't even get a chance to order. Stood at the door for 10 minutes. No one greeted me and said it would be just one moment. I had to go over to the bar and ask where they still seating now. People can't type. Mind you, this is my first time. The response, sorry. 1 star review from Luke. Just no comments, like no text. It just says why. Why 1 star? The last one is Talia, 1 star. White middle-aged woman whom I'm assuming was the host was very rude. We asked if that was all the seating available in the restaurant. She suggested we post up against the bar or figure it out, using quotes. As she walked away, we had 2 kids with us. We left and decided to go elsewhere. Highly doubt that she was rude to you. There's a bunch more, and like they just keep going. And the one that really gets me is the one with the picture of the pizza. Says, finally got around to trying Zorch today in my quest to find a non-floppy, extra crispy pizza. I asked the staff, who were very, very nice, what the crispiest pizza would be, and they directed me to a slice of cheese pizza cooked a little crispy. He puts a picture of the pizza, and it's like super floppy. And the comment from the Zorch owner, why are you holding it like that?
Yeah, valid question. Why are you holding it like that?
It's just, I love their approach to it because it's like, this is nonsense. You're clearly just looking for a reason to comment and give a 1 star review.
Well, it's like the best example of just being permanently unbothered.
Yeah.
You know? Somebody leaves your business a 1 star review. It's like, why? Why do you do this? You know?
Yeah. I mean, it's been a while since, the Google reviews became a place for people to leave grievances or comments or concerns or whatever. And we all know that people do kind of get the, keyboard warrior happy and just get in there and write whatever they think is a valid comment or reason to leave a low review. But I like that it's the challenging, but not challenging, or like not even responding specifically. Because a lot of companies will go and say, oh, we're so sorry. Please come back in and get 10% off. And then whoever wrote the review feels completely vindicated.
Right.
It's like justified.
Yep.
I got justice over a corrupt business that's offering terrible service and charging too much money. And this guy's like, that's completely false.
Yeah. And in one of them, I think it said his reply was, oh, well.
Yeah.
I think Zorch is like, what did they win? Like, best pizza in Richmond.
Yeah. Like
many different times over and in many different ways.
Yeah.
So I would imagine it's like, if you own a pizza shop and it's been voted like best in Richmond over and over again, it's like, no, they don't care what your review is. No, they don't care.
They're good.
Yeah. And you just end up having fun with it. It's like he's like, why are you holding the pizza like that, dude?
And, I was there, I think the day I found this last Thursday.
Yeah.
Was there. And not that I even read the reviews. I don't care. I like the pizza shop, so I eat there. And I'm like holding my pizza, and the pizza is objectively extra large. The slices are huge.
Yeah.
Any person who understands any sort of engineering would rightfully understand that if you hold something with a long base and a lot of weight, at the very end of it, it's going to bend in half.
Yeah. It's like holding a, almost like a Twizzler or something. And it's like, why is it so floppy? Yeah.
And like, okay, secondly, why do you want a completely rigid, crispy slice of pizza?
Yeah.
Where do you even know that that's a thing?
Yeah.
I know. Red Baron frozen pizza from Kroger.
Yep.
If that's what you want, that's where you get it.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. I immediately had the same thought. Before we came here, I told you, I was like, yeah, I'm just going to scarf down some food. I'll be there in 25 minutes. I was eating leftover Zorch pizza.
Yeah.
And this is not an advertisement for Zorch pizza.
Go support Zorch. They're great.
Yeah. It's literally just coincidental, but it is, it is funny. There's, this whole trope of Google reviews where a lot of times they just don't even make sense, where people are like, fantastic experience, 2 stars. They're like, came here with me and my family, had a great time, 1 star.
Right.
It's like 1 star means bad, 5 star means good. Yeah. And people still don't understand.
Did we talk about the 2.5 or like 2 or 3 star reviews? because they're mysterious.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you were going to give it 2 or 3 stars, why not just give it 5?
Yeah.
Or if you were going to give it 3 stars, why not just give it 1?
Well, it's like those are the most curiosity provoking reviews, right? Because those are the people that I would argue like they probably have the most honest reviews. You know, they take their reviews very seriously.
They do. Right? They take their time and
most
they
people
get in
are like,
there.
Oh, that was great. 5 stars. I'm unhappy. 1 star.
Yeah.
You don't ever get the 2, 3 stars, right?
Yeah.
So those are the people like, you're like, oh, this person put some effort in, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You'll get the 3-star review with like 6 paragraphs, you know? And it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, he's like, he remembers the waiter or waitress's name. He knows where the address of the business is. He says, oh, yeah, everything was great, except for these couple of things. I would actually comment and say, so-and-so did a really good job with the exception of this one thing. And then they could actually improve here if they just did a little bit more of this and a little less of that. It's like, well, frankly, that's helpful. The
doorstop looked very old and it looked like it needed to be replaced.
Right.
3 stars.
3 stars. God, I mean, if you're a Google reviewer, don't stop because maybe you'll end up on the podcast.
Keep fighting the good fight.
Keep fighting. Keep fighting against the nefarious deeds and wills of businesses trying to make a buck.
You know who I invited to like try to make a special appearance on our podcast did you see the guy who was like walking through Richmond, like doing the walk for mental health?
Oh, no, I didn't see that.
His name is Kendall and he's been walking. I don't know if he's walking across America, but he's definitely walking the entire East Coast. And he had got here. He's got like a little stroller that says like mental health awareness on the front of it. And that morning last week, he had walked here from, I think he was in Petersburg the night before. So he got up the next day and walked from Petersburg to Richmond. And I think he stayed at the Omni and stuff. But you mentioned having Google reviewers on the podcast. But I messaged that guy and was like, hey, dude, we'd love to have you on for like a little 15-minute thing. But apparently he's a celebrity, you know, pretty much. But like, you know, shout out to that guy. Look him up. Actually, if you look in our DMs, you'll see where I sent him a message or two. And pretty cool. He's just like walking all across.
What was the cause that he's walking for?
Mental health awareness.
Okay.
And see if I can just pull it up real quick. But dude, he met with a bunch of different people. He stayed at the Omni. There was a bunch of people that wanted him to come, you know, speak and talk on the topic of mental health. And let's look at his profile real quick. So here you go. Here's his route so far. So, wow.
Dang. Yeah, he started in, was that South Dakota?
Yeah. No, that's like Arizona or something. Yeah. Or New Mexico, Arizona.
Wow.
Colorado. Dude. 34-day walked all the way to Georgia. And then I'm pretty sure he got to Georgia and kept going. So he went from Georgia all the way here. And then after Richmond, he went to Fredericksburg, I think. So so here's him walking across America, day 961.
Does he have like a cart with him that he's pushing?
Yeah.
With all the stuff on it?
Yeah. Yeah. This thing right here.
Oh, yeah.
Made it to Caroline County, headed towards Fredericksburg. Just walking.
That's crazy.
That's nuts, right?
Yeah, I mean, think about like, you know, the physical toll, but I mean, he's just walking.
Yeah.
It's probably, you know, got some good shoes on.
Yeah.
Some insoles.
There's one guy who did it barefoot, did something like this and was walking barefoot.
Yeah, that's crazy though.
That's
like,
wild, right?
You know, we get the point. Like you want to raise awareness, but you're raising awareness to your feet.
Yeah.
I was concerned about your toes more than I was concerned about whatever the cause was.
So he is 11,000 miles in.
It's a good day. Some good steps.
Yeah.
You know, the Whoop band's got to be, you know, hitting 90%.
He is on Strava. I went and added him on Strava. So he tracks all his walks on there. And I'll tell you what, dude, you know, he knows how to fight sunburn. That's for sure.
He's got a good SPF. I see. He doesn't look too busted.
No, he's good to go, dude. There are a lot of different ways to work with Vera House. There's a lot of ways to promote your brand, promote your business through our show and through the type of local media and local content that we do. Many of you would know that we partner with brands such as Goodwill, such as NASCAR, such as the Richmond Raceway, such as James River Air. If you are a business owner that lives here and you want to find a way to get your brand out there and be seen and be heard, be sure to reach out to us. You can email us at hello@verahouse.co.
Well, speaking of Virginia and our lovely city of Richmond, the 804 area code has reached its limit.
What does this mean?
There are no more available 804 area code numbers to go out.
Oh, wow.
And Richmond will from henceforth be known as 686.
What?
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah. So area code 804 is officially used up. We're now living in the area of 686. And this is on Axios.
Are you sure? Okay, it's on Axios, so it's real. It's not a prank.
Yeah,
you're not getting your chain yanked here.
The State Corporation Commission, which oversees telecommunication in the state, announced that in 2022 that 804 was running out of numbers. It created 686 to take over once it did. The SEC initially expected 804 to be exhausted by mid-2024, then pushed the date to early 2025. This time last year, it still hadn't happened, but no longer. It's unclear exactly when the first 86 or 686 area code was activated.
I'm going to organize a revolt because I do not accept this. And here's the thing. If you run out of your own area code, you know what that means?
What's that?
It means the club is closed.
Agreed. It does mean the club is closed, but this also...
It means we're full.
I agree. It means we're full, but this also reminds me of something else that I just saw that ties in very well. Richmond ranks number 2 on LinkedIn cities on the rise. We're getting a lot of really positive press over the last 8 to 10 months, but we're full. We're all full up.
Yeah.
No more 804s.
Dude. The Parallel Parking Championships convinced everybody to move to Richmond because they're like, wow, this is the coolest city on earth.
I mean, to quote someone from the championship, Richmond is the parallel parking capital of the world.
They did say that. Oh, man, dude. Shout out to everybody who showed up for the damn Parallel Parking Championship.
Seriously, it was so cool. You really brought the heat. Everybody was so engaged with it. There were people spectating and taking pictures. The news was there. Shout out to Sleeves, one of the winners.
Shout out to Sleeves, JC, and Jonathan.
Yeah.
They were the winners.
Yeah.
Not shout out to the news, though, because they came and they just wanted our story and didn't want to give anybody credit, dude.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
That's fair. They did. They got the scoop.
See if you get invited to our next event. You won't be.
They got the scoop. But I mean, in all seriousness, it was awesome. We were basically just scrambling to pull it all together, and then it all coalesced about 48 hours before the event. We had about 40 people come, 40 cars. So 40 individual cars attempted. We had the NASCAR race car driver out there. We had the president of the Richmond Raceway out there. We had a blast.
Yeah, we did. It was a lot of fun. And what Perri won't tell you is that it actually coalesced like 48 seconds before it started. Like,
I wanted to make us seem like professional.
Oh, man. I mean, it was professional. And even Noah said it himself, right? The driver himself was like, dude, this is going way better than I thought it would.
It was smooth. It was very well coordinated. I'll tip a hat to Myke, tip a hat to everybody at the Raceway for helping us organize and plan it all. But yeah, like the night before, we're like, do we have everything?
Yeah.
I think we got everything.
Like we can't believe that it actually like happened and that it like somehow just worked.
It worked so easy.
Yeah. It was like, it went smoothly.
Yeah.
Like no one got hurt. Nobody's car got met. Like nothing, everything is good, dude. It was literally just all fun.
It was so smooth.
You know how they say, oh, it's all fun and games? It was literally all fun and games.
Yeah, it really was. And we had all types of people come out. We had, our guy in the convertible BMW who did like the 8-second park from beginning to end. He nailed it.
That was Nick.
Yeah, had Nick come out. Who had a guy come out in a bright red Mercedes, like S-Class convertible that he drove all the way from Beverly Hills to Richmond. It's like, that's insane. We had a couple of moms come out with their kids. You had a couple of dads come out with their kids in the car. It was awesome.
Yeah, there were some burnouts.
There was one wheeled burnout.
Yep.
We kept as the day went on, we kept rooting for everyone who did it to like do a burnout. And then eventually somebody pulled up in like a Chevy SS and just did a burnout.
Yes. And so for anybody that missed it, you can watch the live replay. The live stream is not like the best. We tried. Okay. It's a little bit hard to like hear everything in the beginning, but it's still a fun watch. We trimmed it down so that you can basically just watch like just the action. And so if you want, that's on our YouTube channel and you can check that out. But it was a lot of fun, man. It was a blast.
It was, man.
It took me a solid week to like mentally recover, but it was fun.
Same. I think I got home and I just sat and stared at the wall like this, just like,
It was very like people are going to laugh at us because they're like, dude, it's a parallel parking thing. We get that. We know. But planning that and like figuring out logistics for something that really like hasn't been done.
Yeah.
There are some like other states that have done it. But like, dude, there's no guidebook on like how to do this. So we had to come up with the rules. We had to figure out what the volunteers should do. How do they direct the cars? How do they signal the next car to come in? Like literally, what are the rules? What do we measure how far apart the cars should be? Then we had to orchestrate like, what are we going to do? And how long are we going to run it for? And where does the line go? So we had to feed the line from the big parking lot next to Mosaic, through the alleyway, around the corner onto Belmont, which is a public street, by the way. So we had to like figure out how to get the traffic to hold and then how to wave them through. And like, that's just the logistics.
Yep.
So then the event has to run and it has to work and it's got to be entertaining and fun. So it's like, we're trying to commentate an event and basically like do a live podcast, also judge the cars, also keep our eyes on the volunteers, also do raffle tickets, give out prizes. It was a lot. Dude.
It was a lot. By the time we had it kind of running and going, and the volunteers on the radio. So shout out to the volunteers at Richmond Raceway. Thank you all for being there.
Yeah.
They were radioing back and forth. And you're like, oh yeah, there's a line kind of sneaking around through the alley, like right about the time we were ready to go. And I was still, whenever things kind of start to ramp up in intensity, I have a quick moment of freak out. And then I find a zone of zen.
Yeah.
And I just sit in it. I'm like, there's not much I can do about it now.
Yeah.
If it's going to explode, I'm just going to watch.
Right. Yeah. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
But luckily, once we got in a flow, it like rolled pretty smoothly. And I mean, dude, we were going pretty quick. Like I was mind blown that on the dot, basically we said it's going to be from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. On the dot, it was exactly 1 p.m. to 3 p.m.
Like the last car, well, somebody wanted to do it twice. So we had time for one person, last person to do it once again.
Yeah.
And then we were done. It's not like we had to end it or cut it short. There were just no more cars.
Yeah.
So shout out to everyone that came, read the instructions, read the beginning and end time to the best of their ability, attempted to park the car, and then left and proceeded on throughout the course that we had laid out. Like if it wasn't for the people participating, doing it, and following those instructions, following the lead of the volunteers, reading up on the one pager that we gave to them with the instructions on it, it probably would have gone a little more, chaotically, but it was great.
It was great, dude. And like, yeah, the hardest part was getting people to show up. Everybody showed up. It was a blast. Yeah. So if you want us to do it again next year, you have to comment below. Let us know that you're going to be at the 2027 Richmond Parallel Parking Championships.
Yes. And I think you do, because not everybody won. That wasn't the goal. We wanted to allow people to show off, test their skills, to show off, maybe get a little practice in. The people that participated and actually parked the car, every single one of those people has bragging rights now.
Yeah.
They can go around the entire city and say that they won or that they nailed their park at the Richmond Parallel Parking Championship.
Yep.
Now that there were 3 winners, and it's important to note that the winners were involved or included in a raffle. Yeah. So they were pulled at random out of everyone that completed a successful park.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. We would love to do like an actual like bracketed tournament or something like that. Would actually be really sweet. The logistics for that would be much harder.
Right.
So we figured for the first go around, it's like, there's only so much we can do. We're going to make it as good as possible with what we've got to work with within the time frame that we had and the space and the location and everything, which was great. So huge shout out to Mosaic because they found like it was the perfect location for it. But yeah, to do it as like a bracketed tournament, we just didn't have enough people. We ran that whole thing with just 3 volunteers, which we needed more. Like to do it again next year, we definitely need more volunteers. So everybody keep your eyes and ears out for next year. If it sounds fun, if you want to be a part of it, maybe you don't want to park, please come volunteer because we're going to need the help next year, especially if we make it like a bracketed tournament where we're actually trying to identify like the best parallel parker, I
mean,
we'd have to have like measurements. We'd have to take down measurements and all that stuff.
I mean, I think I'd want to do that. Somebody asked me today, they actually saw it on, saw a clip of it on TikTok, and they asked me, he's like, did I compete in it? And they're like, no, we didn't compete in it. I don't need to. But I think the people would like to see us test our skills. But then moreover, we want to identify for at least 1 year's length of time, the best parallel parker in Richmond. And to do that, we do need a bracketed tournament.
Yeah.
So next year, that's what it'll be. There will be one winner to rule them all.
Yeah.
That person gets a crown or a trophy or, a year subscription to Amazon Prime or something like that, right? They will get a really good prize. They'll get bragging rights for a year. And that, I believe, is the beginning of a welcome tradition in our city.
Yeah. Yeah. And what we'll have to do is we'll have to block off the whole street at Browns Island, and on the spectator zone will be Browns Island, and they're all spectating that street right there, and we'll shut down the whole street.
I love it.
That would be crazy.
That would be good. Oh yeah, man. We'll make a whole festival out of it.
Literally.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's very possible that could be what that event becomes. It absolutely could be like an event with beer trucks and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like we did have some vendors and it was a good time. So everybody look out. We'll be doing it again next year.
Yeah.
And nobody with a 686 area code is allowed.
Hey, that's area codism or area code discrimination.
Yeah, that's codism.
That's codism. Boo. But yeah, I mean, 686, I don't know, man. 804 has just got such a good visual aesthetic to it.
It does. And dude, it's 804. It's nothing else.
Yeah.
It's just 804.
Like 804, it's like
just change an area code. What?
It's like the branding is going to have to change for like Richmond in general. It's like Richmond is no longer the 804.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, it is. It's the 804 forever.
Yeah.
Where are you going? I'm going to the 804.
Yeah.
757, 804.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah. And what's Nova? It's like 571 or whatever.
Yeah. I thought 757. Is that the beach?
757 is the beach.
Yeah.
Nova is like 571 or
something like that.
Yeah. But check this out. Why do so many people around here walk in their neighborhoods? Thinking of 804, and you mentioned 804 day, right? So I guess that's over now, right? Now we have 686 day. That's crazy.
I don't like it.
So why do so many people walk around Richmond in these neighborhoods? I live among a lot of neighborhoods with perfectly accessible full-size SUVs. Yet every day I come across people strolling along in the middle of the road. I just don't understand the thought process behind this. Why walk around your neighborhood when you could pilot an SUV the size of a tank? Or maybe just an actual tank? Neighborhoods are for giant hunks of metal with huge blind zones hurtling along at 40 miles an hour, not for children to kick a soccer ball with their friends.
I mean, I like the cynicism, and I actually kind of agree. SUVs are everywhere, and it's a problem.
Yeah. Says from the comments, I can't tell if this is mocking a dung post from earlier or is just another dumb post. There's nothing more serious than the pedestrian epidemic happening right now in our city. They must be stopped. It is pure communism. Someone says, I can assure you folks, we are very serious. Why would anyone walk anywhere when you could drive the new Lexus LX? No, the line of sight does not allow me to see small children in front of the vehicle. But who really needs that? Impeach Avula. Cardigan for mayor today. I guess Cardigan is like the name of the person who made this post.
Yeah.
It's a Reddit post, so everybody's like anonymous. This is the sort of thinking I'm trying to get with the pedestrian-free Carytown. It's senselessly dangerous to walk in your flesh suit when you could be protected by an all-steel frame. I think this idea is really taking off, and I'm here for it.
Flesh suit. Okay.
All those sidewalks and trees taking up valuable lane and parking space. I mean, what deranged person decided to place tall, arrow, immovable objects next to where cars drive, as if they are intentionally designed to overcome a car's safety crumple zones? And we'd have a lot less pedestrian accidents if people just drove more.
Jeez. I mean, I love when people go on a tangent on the Reddit comments about something that's inherently idiotic, and just double down on the idiocy. That's my favorite thing.
Yes, it's fantastic, dude. Reddit is like a treasure trove of comedy.
It's great.
I'll read two more. There's a lot of poor people around. I've noticed this too. Some places you go in town and it's so bad that you'll just see people walking around in public everywhere, like multiple per block. In parts of the city, even the stores don't have parking lots because they know that there's so many poor people around that they'll just walk there on foot. It makes me sad what happened to our country with so many struggling. It says, it's likely the poors and the posers, not from Nova. Any transplant worth their salt would know that you aren't in the club if you don't at least have a GMC Yukon less than 3 years old. I haven't been outside since COVID and none of you can stop me.
That's incredible.
Okay, last one. I once took a left turn at a flashing yellow arrow, heading home from work and yielded to a guy crossing the street on a skateboard who was being pulled by a bulldog. He proceeded to flick me off for the full length of the intersection as he glided by. I guess he thought I blew the light, and I was briefly upset. But the style was so impressive, I just had to admire it. Some walk these neighborhoods, but some glide.
Again, actual poetry.
Yes.
It's so good.
Yeah. And, so that's today's Reddit feature.
And I mean, I guess the point that they're making is that there are too many SUVs, right?
Yeah.
That's the actual point, is like SUVs are a problem and pedestrian walkways are sparse.
Yeah.
Like safe pedestrian walkways. There's plenty of sidewalks in the city, but I've noticed this. I actually pointed this out to a friend who is new in town. There are nice walkable sidewalks and streets in the nice parts of the city. In the less funded, less well-to-do neighborhoods and areas, there are either no sidewalks or broken sidewalks, meaning people who like walk regularly to choose to walk in the street.
Yeah.
Or the sidewalk is like incomplete, where halfway down the block it turns into gravel or to grass. So people, they do walk in the street. And I noticed that it bums me out because Richmond is a really walkable city. It's not that big. You can geographically, it's just not that large. So you could walk from one end of it to the other, but you wouldn't stay on the sidewalk the entire time. You'd have to walk in the street. You'd have to walk down an alley. You'd have to get on the highway maybe.
Yeah.
It's just, it could be better. And then, there are lots of giant SUVs running around.
Yeah. Well, it used to be that the city was where you went because you didn't have transportation.
Yeah.
And you went to the city because things were more affordable and it was easier to get around. And you could ride a bike or ride a skateboard, and now it's not that. Now it's like, oh, I live in the city because it's cool and I've got a hipster job and I'm paying $3,000 a month for my apartment. And like, I'd love to ride my bike and walk everywhere, but then what am I going to do with my Lexus LX in the driveway,
Yeah.
And so it's like, and then it's like, oh my God, the rent's so expensive. It's like, well, yeah, because that's what you wanted,
Yeah.
Inadvertently, that's what you wanted. Like you wanted to live in a cool, hip town. So you moved here from New York and you ruined it for everybody else. And now we're the 686 town and everything's shit now.
So I guess what do we got to do? We're gonna move into Scott's Edition, and we're both gonna buy GMC Yukons, and we're gonna assimilate. I'm gonna get a track phone, a Nokia brick, with the 686 area code.
Dang, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody's trading in their 804 number for a 686 number, right? It's almost like
no.
Dude, it's the separation of the generations. Like 10 years is gonna go.
Oh,
and
yeah.
People are gonna be like, oh, dude, you're an 804, like.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're 804.
Yeah, because this is going to be like a new smart city, and it's like, oh, we're progressive, we're a smart city, and and the 804s are going to be like, oh, that's old Richmond, that's that old Richmond money.
It'll be Richmond is really good at one thing, and that is taking its time.
That's true. Yeah,
it won't be a smart city in our lifetime.
You never know, dude. I never thought Scott's Edition would exist, but here we are.
That's fair.
2015, I lived over there. There was nothing to do, not a single thing, dude.
That's true.
The only thing there was the dairy bar. That's it. The nearest coffee shop, I had to walk from basically where you live, not quite, but right there at Hamilton, the 3600 West Broad building. There was nothing there. It was 3600 West Broad, where there were some apartments. There was the Wells Fargo there and the dairy bar. And that was it.
Yeah.
Everything else was just industrial warehouses.
That's true. I mean, there was no Don't Look Back.
No, there was nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
Literally nothing. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. There was nothing. And if you wanted to get a cup of coffee, you had to walk all the way to the Starbucks on Boulevard.
Damn.
That was the closest place to get a coffee. That's right.
Because I mean, all that shit. Yeah, none of that stuff was there.
None of it. Literally none of it.
I mean, it's almost a whole self-contained.
It's 10 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost a whole self-contained neighborhood now.
Yeah,
I just remember the raves. I never lived over there. I remember two places. Well, never went to the dairy bar because I couldn't get over that name. Dairy bar?
Right. It makes it seem like something that it isn't.
What is it?
Yeah.
I never knew what it was because I never went.
Yeah.
I never wanted to go. I was like, ugh, dairy bar? I don't want milk in my beer. Like, what is that?
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
And then
the story behind the dairy bar is actually pretty interesting, if I remember correctly. I don't know it right off the top of my head, but
it was Dairy Bar and Infusion. Remember Infusion?
okay, Infusion was there. I do remember that.
Weird. It's been a number of different places now. I think it's a bank now, but I went there when they first opened the first time. Actually, I think I tried to work there, but then I never did before they opened. But it was a restaurant, like a fine dining restaurant in the front, the club in the back. And the club was like the nicest club in Richmond.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be like just Vegas style, big VIP bottle service type of thing. And all the clubs were downtown. So this would be the only club in uptown. Yep. But their kicker, and one of the reasons they came up with that name was that they had an ice bar.
Mm.
They had a giant walk-in freezer with ice, with like an actual ice bar, a bar that was covered in ice.
Yeah.
And so you could put on these giant parkas that they had for you and go in there and drink frozen cocktails.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Dang, I didn't know all that. I always thought of Infusion as the place to go if you wanted to get in a fight.
Well, it became that because after they opened, I think they made it like 6 months and then they closed.
Yeah.
Because the owner got arrested.
Wow.
And then it got taken over by somebody else and then it turned into that.
Jeez. Yeah, that sucks. Damn, I know, I never went in there, but I did remember that was there. You want to know the history of the Dairy Bar? The Dairy Bar was a beloved Scots Edition institution. I believe it's still there, by the way. This makes it seem like it closed, but I don't think it has.
I think the building is still there. It's
Should we check?
Closed. Yeah.
Okay. All right. The Dairy Bar in Richmond opened in 1946. It was a Scots Edition institution originally serving as a cafeteria for Curl's Neck dairy workers, located at 1602 Roseneath Road. It operated for over 76 years, evolving into a nostalgic diner famous for its hearty breakfasts, thick milkshakes, and over 20 ice cream flavors. It was sold in 1988. Local resident William Watson Booker Jr. purchased the cafeteria and renamed it the Dairy Bar. So that happened in 88. In the 2000s, the diner became a retro time capsule amid a rapidly developing Scots Edition, offering homey dishes and attracting both locals and tourists. And then it closed in 2022. The Roseneath Road space briefly housed a concept called Biscuits and Gravy, which also closed, clearing the way for new development in the neighborhood. So yeah, pretty crazy.
Pretty crazy. I still can't get over that name.
I know.
The Dairy Bar.
The Dairy Bar. But yeah, I guess it was originally a cafeteria for Curl's Neck Dairy. Yeah, okay, it's a plantation. Curl's Neck Dairy, which began retail operations in 1933, was one of the largest dairy suppliers in the eastern United States. Yeah, here it is. I mean, you can't really see it, but I guess this was a big farm plantation or something. New Market Road. The name Curls is derived from the curls or meanders in the James River, which defines the broad flat peninsula known as Curl's Neck. The property has passed through a number of hands, but the Randolph family who acquired the land in 1698 had by far the longest tenure. Through the years, various names have been applied to different sections of this vast tract. The property was originally referred to by early settlers as Longfield. It is easy to see how the name Longfield originated. It is a noticeably wide expanse of open land along historic Route 5 in the Varina district of Henrico County with trees at either end. Interesting. So yeah, I guess that was a cafeteria for all the people that worked at Curl's Neck.
Curl's Neck, yeah.
Yeah, interesting. I don't know. That's not making sense to me because like this farm is located out on New Market Road, which is in Varina. So that's out towards, that's like way down the Capitol Trail.
So maybe this building was the warehouse where people worked and this was the cafeteria.
I bet you that is.
Right? That's what it makes me think of.
Yeah, like maybe this is the farm and that must have been like the inventory warehouse.
Right, where they make the products, ship it.
Yeah, where all the dairy trucks. I bet you that's what it was. That's probably where all the dairy trucks were. And that's basically the cafeteria where all the people that worked there ate lunch.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, it does.
And now they're apartments.
Wow.
Classic.
So, there's this other crazy thing here where I guess there was like a massacre at this farm.
What?
Yeah. So this says VCU conducted a number of archaeological digs at Curl's Neck during summer sessions, and a Richmond Times-Dispatch article written by Overton McGee dated May 13th, 1985, had found the entire gamut of American history. They identified the outlines of 2 building sites from Bacon's period and 5 sites from the Randolph's plantation. Some of the pieces of ceramics found at the site were from the late 1600s. The evidence in the ground also matched an 1806 Mutual Assurance Society document description of 6 buildings. They found bricks jutting out of the soil where the chimneys once stood and identifiable pieces of steps remaining. The survey team also found pottery fragments and a wine bottle sealed and marked Richard Randolph 1735. They were also excited about a site that predated the 1622 massacre of colonists by Indians. Clay pipe stems found there indicated the approximate age of the site. The archaeological walk through time may eventually go from a 5,000-year-old Indian site to a Quaker meeting house that may have been a stop on the Underground Railroad in the mid-1800s.
Dang, dude.
The history in this, in this city is so crazy. Like Virginia itself is just, there's so much stuff buried here and so much that has happened here.
So that actually reminds me of something that I recently came across talking about, history of Richmond and kind of old, uncovered things that maybe were forgotten about.
Yeah.
More than 700 graves were found in Richmond's Manchester neighborhood, and they're all unmarked.
Whoa.
Yeah, dude. It's kind of crazy. So more than 700 graves have been found in Richmond's Manchester neighborhood after a survey was conducted at a site. According to the spokesperson for the city of Richmond, a draft report from the vendor conducting a ground-penetrating radar survey of 2313 Wise Street identified 742 graves, making it one of Richmond's largest forgotten burial sites. Ground-penetrating radar identified 472 probable graves, 270 possible graves, with historians believing many belong to Confederate soldiers who died in nearby Civil War hospitals. But the site likely also contains private citizens and possibly soldiers from other states, making it much more than just a Confederate cemetery. What stands out to me is where this is happening. Southside Richmond. Manchester has always been one of the city's oldest neighborhoods, but stories like this are a reminder that the history is literally buried beneath our feet. Today, the property is home to a city utility facility for decades, and most people had no idea a cemetery was underneath. The city says it's developing a plan to allow descendants and researchers to visit the site while avoiding disturbing the graves. That's kind of nuts.
Isn't it so crazy how it just so happens when this type of stuff is like uncovered, it always coincides with like, oh, let's put a permanent government-owned building on top of it so that way no one can ever discover it. Like maybe that's just coincidence, but it's the same thing with the Marshall Reservoir, right? They're like, oh, let's just like put a public school on top of it. So that way there's never any reason to like demolish this school and get underneath it, And it's like, oh, let's put a city-funded government utility building on top of it.
Look at this.
Wow.
And they think that some of these graves are stacked on top of each other.
Probably, dude. I mean, that's insane. Like ground penetrating radar is really interesting because they even use it like, at the Giza plateau with the pyramids and all this other stuff. Like it's pretty amazing. Like to think that technology, not to go on too much of a tangent here, but this also happened in Italy where like all of Rome and what we learn about in Roman history is actually underground. Like the entire Colosseum, like what we know of as the Roman Colosseum was buried. Like, and people didn't even know it was there. Mm-hmm. And that's why it's like still standing today, is because for the majority of history, it was actually underground.
Yeah.
So all of Italy and all of Rome had to be undug. And, people are on this like search for Alexander the Great's tomb and all this stuff. And even if you go visit Italy, there are parts of old Italy and old Rome that are dug out and, marked off. And you can be standing in modern day Italy looking down into old Italy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, it goes to show that it's no different here. And no, Richmond's not the new Rome, but
no, Richmond's the New York.
Yeah, dude. Hopefully people get that reference. Richmond's not the new Rome, but that just goes to show Virginia's very old. Richmond is very old. There's so much stuff that is literally underneath our feet.
Yeah.
It contains this story of like thousands of people. And it's just, that is really interesting. We get so caught up in our day-to-day whatever, we just totally forget all of the people and all of the things that have come before us. And yeah, stories like that, they make you pause and think and consider it. And it's just crazy to think like, yeah, whatever happened there, most likely thousands of people lost their lives, at least hundreds. And who knows? It's just a story that's been gobbled up by history that, is talked about on a podcast a couple times and talked about on the news, and then on we go.
Yeah. There's the last little bit here. It says, according to the report, the site's burial pattern is dense, with many people appearing to have been buried on top of one another, something described as a common occurrence in burial grounds used over a long period of time or intensively. So instead of burying them out, they just dig them deeper.
Yeah.
And then bury people on top of them.
Yeah. Which makes sense because like back then, you had all of these health concerns, and so like, yeah, if you go to like a cemetery, you have like, not to be morbid about it, but yeah, you have like most likely sanitized bodies, and yeah, you bury them, several feet below the surface of the earth, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you're talking about like war victims that, who knows, they could have infections or cholera or like whatever, right? And so it's like, yeah, you just bury it as deep as it goes and cover it up, and then it's like,
yeah, man. The crazy thing that like you make a good point, and like I know the conspiracy theorist in you is loving the idea that it's conveniently underneath a city building.
Yeah.
Right. So it's probably been allocated as city property, and that building has probably been something, lots of different things over the years. But now if you look at the picture of the building, it doesn't really look like anything. It just looks like a basic city building. And it's a wonder, like, well, if this was of any importance at any point in time, why wasn't it documented properly? And if it's not important, why not?
Yeah, or it's a part of like hidden history. It's, in a way, it's similar to the Marshall Reservoir story, where it's like, yeah, it's a really fascinating story, but it's kind of a dark story, and we don't really want to talk about it.
Yeah, yeah. It's, the rose-colored tinted glasses for the view of history to keep people enthused about where it is that they like to call home. I totally get that. But, we're in the era of information, in my opinion, the right information and told correctly as it played out. I think it's just better to get the facts instead of a version of the truth that's supposed to make you feel good.
Yeah. Well, speaking of people like not knowing things, did you know that the city of Petersburg just found out about data centers? Like they didn't know data centers were a thing. And now they're like,
I saw that come up. I don't know where I saw it. I saw it come up recently. I'm like, wait a minute. The city of Petersburg found out about data. I thought it was something like, oh, you're going to find out today. And like, they were like, no, we're not having it like everybody else said.
Right. No, they literally found out today. They said, quote, I had no clue. Petersburg council members say they were in the dark about data centers.
Come on, man. Making us look bad.
Yeah. Petersburg council members say they were blindsided by the report identifying 4 data center developments. 3 projects moved through staff level approval without council hearings because the city's 2024 zoning change allows data centers by right. So again, this is people
changing the laws.
Changing laws so that they're like, oh, we're just going to build this data center and like not tell anybody.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are multiple projects, one by the Warrenton Group, which is 6 buildings across 175 acres. The Nuvu Data Center, 75 acres. The Menlo Digital, which is 4 buildings across 74 acres. And then the Wagner Data Center, which is 3 buildings across another 73 acres. So you're talking about like 500 acres. And like they don't require any sort of special use permit. So that means like any private equity can just like buy a big piece of land and open a data center.
Yeah.
And Petersburg was, the council members in Petersburg were like, yeah, we didn't know that we had no idea that was going on.
And they're going to get away with it.
Yeah. They said, quote, I had no clue.
Yeah. It's like, they're going to get away with it.
Yeah. And it's like, look, dude, it's kind of your job to have a clue.
You been to Petersburg?
I mean, well, yes, but not in a long time.
Okay.
Petersburg is kind of cool. Now, I haven't been in a while, but Petersburg, I think, is kind of cool.
All right. I haven't been in a long time.
I haven't either. But I mean, I forget why my foundings were that Petersburg was cool, but I remember thinking that it was kind of cool. I had some friends there. What I used to think about Petersburg was this. I was like, oh, this is a place where you can get these really cool historic apartments for like a third of the price that you could in Richmond.
Yeah.
And that's why I thought it was cool. Because I had friends out there and I would go and like their apartments were sick.
Yeah.
Like, cause it's like a Richmond apartment because they're in these cool, big, like brick, high ceiling, high roof apartments, big windows and stuff. And I'm like, dude, how much do you pay for this? They're like $500. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So I thought Petersburg was cool because of that.
It is cool when $500 for an apartment seems like a good deal.
Yeah.
Versus the reason for it being $500 is that there is no reason to live there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not talking, shit about Petersburg. I'm sure it's, it's home for lots of people and they like and appreciate it for many reasons. But
yeah, and I'm sure it's come a long way since.
Yeah. And I haven't been there since like 2003. So it's been a long time.
Probably about the same for me. Yeah. I mean, I was probably there like 2008, something like that. But, but now they know that data centers are a thing, so it's like.
Welcome to welcome to the rest of this. Welcome to 30 minutes up the road.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's be real.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show. You're
about to lose your area code. What is the Petersburg area code? Is it 804? I don't know.
686.
It is now.
Like, and just, I have something on my notes here about, we're talking about walking, we're talking about pedestrians, we're talking about the neighborhoods and the area codes, and Richmond being number 2 most like city on the rise by LinkedIn. Yet, I still feel slightly disconnected sometimes.
Yeah.
I still feel like we could be more connected, more intentional about it. And I noticed it and now, of course, when I noticed it, I can't not see it every time. No one talks to each other when they're walking down the street.
Yeah.
No one talks to each other specifically when it's just you and one other person. And when I say no one, I mean people our age, maybe a little younger, and then significantly younger. They don't talk to each other. They don't even look at each other. If they're both on a walk, they're both walking dogs, no wave, no hi, headphones or not. It's just literally, I walked by this guy who looked a little younger than me. And I was going to give him a little wave, give a little heads up, a little smirk, whatever, just to acknowledge that he's like 3 feet from me.
Yeah.
And he didn't look at me at all. He looked straight and did not look in my direction at all.
Yeah.
On the other hand, every time I'm out on a walk and there's someone who's older than me, they always look.
Right.
They always say hello. They always wave. They give a little nod. Even if they're busy doing something else and you walk by them, they'll usually stop and look over and say, hey. And it just dawned on me that that's a far gone tradition.
Yeah. I literally just published a Substack article that opened with a very similar topic because I was guilty of the same thing. And I hate to admit it, but like I did that to like an older person. I walk around Shields Lake all the time and, I walk and make my voice notes and I've got my headphones in and stuff. And I see people all the time and normally everybody's got their own thing going on. But if I make eye contact with somebody or it's just like a friendly thing, I wave or say hello, you just acknowledge people. That's basically it. But I was walking and there was this older woman in a wheelchair, like her big sunbonnet on and like had long sleeves. I mean, she's pretty old. She was up there. And my first instinct was that she needed help. And, that's my own judgment speaking of like, oh, you just assume that old people are like incapable because they're old. But the truth is like, she might take that lap every day. What do I know? Right. Yeah. And so she's going around and I see her and she's looking directly at me. So my assumption is that like she, wants my attention or has something to say or needs something. And I took my headphone out and I was like, hey, how are you? And she was like, or no, sorry. I took my headphone out and I think I said, I was like, oh, do you need a hand with anything? That's what I said. I was like, do you need help? Do you need a hand with anything? And she was like, no. She was like, I was just going to say hello and I hope you have a good weekend. And I was like, oh. I was like, thanks. I hope you do too. Mm-hmm. And she's like, okay, have a good one. And I put my headphone in and I was like, idiot. And I was like, it gave me that exact feeling of like, why did I just assume that this person need help? Now I could be forgiven because like, she is old. She is in a wheelchair. She kind of looked like, I'm like, do you need a hand with anything? Are you okay?
Yeah.
But she didn't need help with anything. She was great. And she just was excited to like see another human being and say hello. And like, that's probably the thing that she looks forward to every day, is taking her lap and saying hi to the people around the lake. Because it's like when you don't have a million, right? Like we're in our 30s and 40s, we have a million things going on. Like when you're old, you're thinking back and you're like, man, I wish when I was 30 or 40 that I didn't give a shit about all those things going on. And I was more present and I was more engaged with people. Mm-hmm. And so, it just takes moments like that where it just reminds you, like the whole reason why we're here is to interact with your fellow men and women, right?
Yeah.
It's like, be a human, be normal, take the technology out of your brain and remember what we're doing here. So I totally agree.
Yeah, man. You're forgiven.
Thank you.
You're exonerated.
Thank you.
For being a kid.
Yeah.
Well, for being a butthead.
Allegedly. Yes.
Allegedly. I mean, I'm guilty too. I am 100% guilty. I was guilty up until the moment that I realized that there was an issue. And I do my best to like acknowledge it and try and do things differently. Because obviously, having been, oblivious to it, I would guess if I'm honest, I don't think I was completely oblivious to it. Sometimes I'm more, kind of paying attention to it. Sometimes I'm not. But I definitely recall moments where like, I should say hello. And I just didn't.
Yeah.
And I'd imagine it's like that for a lot of people. Unless you're completely, completely involved in what's going on in your immediate surroundings on a walk, or you got your headphones on, or you're just really zoned in on something else, and someone walks by you and you just completely miss them. I feel like that's a rare. Most people are just, you're tuned into what's happening around you. Then you're forgiven for not and trying to say hello. But on a walk in the street, I've been in Carytown. Carytown's a really good example, right? Carytown's it's hustle and bustling a little bit. Yeah. People just kind of back and forth. So it's understood that you're on your way somewhere. You don't have time to say hello to everybody.
Everybody's in everyone's way in Carytown.
Right.
At least it feels that way.
Yeah. So it's not like I'm going to stop and be like, oh, hey, what's up? But there was I was walking one day and I was wearing I think I was wearing something that I had just got, something like an outfit that I wasn't like used to wearing, and somebody walked by me and they're like, hey, nice fit, man. And that's happened to me a couple times. I'm like, fucking thank you. Feels great. If you thought that but didn't say it, I wouldn't feel that way.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying that. And then conversely, when it's just you and you're 30 yards away, you see somebody coming down the street, it's like, oh, I gotta say hello. I should say hello. And then you walk by, I meant to say hello. I'm not an asshole, I promise. Just try it.
Yeah.
Don't even have to say hi.
Yeah.
You can just say, give them a peace sign, 2 thumbs up, not 2 thumbs, but like give them a thumbs up, give them a wave.
Yeah.
If they have headphones on, you got headphones on, you don't have to say, you can just, literally just acknowledge, catch eyes and keep moving.
Yeah.
I think it makes public encounters easier.
Yeah.
If you do that over time.
Yeah.
It becomes less of a chore for you to remember to be polite or to acknowledge somebody, if that's just a common practice. Other countries do this kind of by the nature of their socioeconomic circumstance. Paris and Rome and Italy, and those places are entrenched in being around other people and communing with them. That's just how they do things. But it's not like that here. We're kind of conditioned to do the opposite. Mind your business. Don't talk to him. Pay attention to what you're doing. Watch where you're going. Protect yourself. Well, you don't have to protect yourself from being in public all the time.
Yeah.
Not everybody's out there to rob you or do some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
we are a hive mind, so it's like you are who you surround yourself with. And if you live in a neighborhood that's a little bit quieter and not as, publicly engaged, like think about the neighborhood of Bellevue. That neighborhood is actually like very connected and everybody knows each other, and they have what is it called? Porchella. Mm-hmm. And it's like, there's just that one little communal space there over in North Side where, you go to that little coffee shop called Stir Crazy, or you go to Hom Shop, or you go to like these little spots right there and the little like Mediterranean restaurant and stuff. And it's like everybody knows everybody and everyone says hello and everyone's really friendly, and you go into the coffee shop and everybody knows each other and you see the same people every morning. Whereas if maybe you live in a different part of town, it's just a different vibe. Like in Scott's Addition is so bustling. It doesn't have that same feel, even though, yes, it's a neighborhood. It's like you could probably live in Scott's Addition and see like, hundreds of people throughout your day over there and you don't know any of them. You don't recognize any of them. And it does make it just, you're a little bit less likely to maybe like say hello or get outside of your bubble a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish people would be a little bit more open, a little bit more communicable. And it all starts with like making it part of your habit, right? Mm-hmm. When you're in an elevator and it's like, oh, this is kind of awkward. What you said is true, which is if you just said hello, it actually wouldn't be awkward.
Yeah.
It's like doing the opposite is the thing that makes it weird and makes you feel off and makes you feel bad. Whereas if you just like openly and outwardly said, hey, how's your day going? They'd be like, oh, good. How about you? And you'd be like, oh, yeah, good too. Thank you.
You feel great afterward.
Yeah, exactly.
It's okay to be the first one.
Yeah.
It's totally okay to be the first one to do it. And I know it's not easy. It might take some practice to get it right. You might be like those memes where they're like, somebody walks by you on the street. They're like, and then behind them, they're like, shit.
Yes.
Because like they tried to do it, but they messed up.
Yes.
So yeah, give yourself some grace when you're doing it. But I challenge all of our listeners. When you're walking by someone in the street and you think you want to say hi, say hi.
Yeah. Say hello to somebody today.
Yeah.
One last thing that'll make everybody's life easier is Walk RVA announced its partnership with an organization called Bike Streets to launch an interactive safety map for safer bike routes, which I think is really cool. And I think people should be aware of it. So it is an interactive map of Richmond that shows you like the most street friendly places to ride your bike. And it's pretty cool. So it's basically like a low stress Richmond bike map.
Nice.
And so it's showing you the routes that are the easiest to ride your bike along, which I think is really cool. And the site itself looks like this.
I got the weather on there.
Yeah.
Dang, I like that. Sweet? Yeah.
So anybody who is, and I say this as a cyclist, like when you ride a lot, you get really comfortable and confident with where you're going because you know where to go, you know what streets to take, you know what streets to avoid because you ride all the time. And you know all the different trails and maybe you have Strava and you've got, a lot of these people have, they're called Wahoos. Like there's one called Wahoo, there's one called a Hammerhead. You basically have these onboard computers. Mm-hmm. But people who aren't serious cyclists, they don't have that. They just have their phone, right? And so there's a mobile app for this. It's called Bike Streets. And it's free. And it's the low stress Richmond bike map. So if you're someone who like has a bike and you're thinking to yourself, oh, I wish I rode my bike around more. Or I've got this bike sitting in my shed or in my garage or locked up on my porch or my patio, and I really should pump up the tires and take it for a ride. Mm-hmm. This gives you a really good place to start to figure out like where you can ride that's a lot safer. And it shows like the number of weekly riders that are using it and contributing to the Richmond bike map.
That's pretty sweet.
Anybody who has any interest in this city being more bikeable, check out the low stress Richmond bike map. It's on Bike Streets and just Google it and you'll be able to find it. So yeah, it's all about, making our city more friendly in a lot of different ways, right?
That's all we're out here trying to do, man. Just, connect people, make it more friendly, maybe dig up some dead bodies.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Last little shout out. If you've been eyeing Perri's hoodie and this beautiful brown t-shirt I got, you can support us by getting yourself some Vera Creative Club merch. You can do that at verahouse.co. Be sure to reach out to us. You can email us at hello@verahouse.co.
This podcast was recorded at Vera House Studios in Richmond, Virginia, and produced by Perri Young and Myke Metzger.